Hey everybody, Superman here. So, what I'm talking about today is a difference between being attracted to a particular thing versus an attractive situation. All right, so here's an example. When I was traveling out here in Arizona, I met a girl in the pool at a hotel, and I found her very attractive. Her vibe was cool. Her body was great. You know, big sweet booty, nice thick thighs, nice color skin, all that, and we were vibing really good. But situation was it was her birthday, and she was on a trip with her family. So attractive girl, unattractive situation, right? I've been in that before. When a girl is on a family trip like that, okay, the ability of the situation to fit the idea of getting together with a girl isolated away from her family, very difficult because the whole trip is based upon that girl, her birthday and the family and why they're there and everything like that. So I understood that, and immediately I was like, okay, attractive girl, unattractive situation. And what's so important about this is there's a lot of times, and all of us have been through this, where we see a particular thing or a person that we find attractive. Meanwhile, the situation involved with it is unattractive. Okay, so what do? Well, I'm here to say that give a lot more attention to what the situation is overall, because that's going to more determine the potential of the outcome. And if we put our energy more towards attractive situations rather than a particular detail we like within the situation, like think about it this way. If we see it like as a world, a situation as a mini world, and there's a particular little thing that we like within it, all right, imagine like we're in the middle of the jungle. All right, so here's the world. Here's that situation. All right, so there's a lot of dangers in the jungle and stuff like this, right? And we go, okay, there's a nice apple on the tree. And I have the idea that I want to go get that apple. And there's a bunch of creatures around, and I want to let's say take that apple and have a nice little sit down by a tree and this and that. But there are so many bugs, there are so many creatures, there are things that are, blocking the apple and stuff like that. It doesn't matter how pretty that apple is if the environmental picture is too problematic. You have to then also adjust and go, well, that apple isn't that attractive, because the scenario connected with it is unattractive, okay? And that a lot of times, I've been caught in this, a lot of people have been caught in this, we can find ourselves putting too much energy towards an apple, right? In an unattractive area. You know what I mean? So I'll give you a perfect example. I was in California. I love the beach. That's one of the reasons that I moved to California, to the Santa Monica, Venice area. All right, now I'd like to keep connecting with the beach, but the entire scenario surrounding the lockdown makes the rest of it unattractive. So why would I go and stay for one detail, one little piece, when the rest of that world has been smashed? Is no longer about freedom. The spiritual vibe is contained. I can't go to the gym over there. I can't eat at restaurants there. It's not easy to meet people now over there. All those things. So the message here is really being careful and choosy about where we're putting our energy. Our energy is precious. And if we really examine the situations that we're putting our energy into and ask ourselves, is this a good situation? A lot of times we find that we may find a particular thing attractive and think that somehow, we're going to overcome this great environmental issue. It's possible. It's always possible. But we have a limited time in this life. So when we think of, and limited amounts of energy, so when we think of, out of all of the choices, do we want to go after a small detail of something in a bad situation or look for better situations? I'm going to give you an example, let's say related to poker, Okay, those of you that understand Texas Hold'em, this is gonna come across really well. And those of you that don't, you're probably still gonna get it. So in Texas Hold'em, the best starting hand, you get 2 cards. The best starting hand are 2 aces. Now, before other cards come down on the table, that's the kind of detail, right? Okay, that is the most attractive. You see that and it's like, oh, wow, pocket aces. You'd be ready to shove all your money in pre-flop, okay? But typically what you do is you raise. You're putting extra energy because of the good thing. Now you raise and let's say a whole bunch of other people call. Now you're like, man, I'm against the whole table that called me. The flop comes down, 3 more cards come down and other people start betting like crazy. Maybe you raise and then let's say everybody else re-raises. You go, oh my God. Chances are you are lost. It's probably not that everyone at the table is stupid and crazy to just put that much more money in like you beat them. No. In the beginning, you had something that you found that was attractive, but now the situation is you are coming up against too much adversity and the chance of you being lost is very high and folding is usually the right move, okay? You want to look for a better spot. So your energy is also the aces, okay? Seeing your energy as valuable, all right? So when a situation is no good, yeah, you can fight it, stuff like that, but you're going to win more poker hands in good situations than you are fighting in bad situations. It's really, really powerful, guys, okay? Because you could even have a garbage hand, but if the situation is good, you can still win, all right? So as all of you are going through this, you know, these lockdown scenarios and limited freedom and everything like that, look for the best situations possible, okay? The next thing that I'm recommending is we're all having to adjust our focus. So create a new singular focus. Give that value. And then ask yourself, what kind of a situation do I need to be in order to affect that new focus? So for me, my body had gotten out of shape during the lockdown. And, you know, working out is such an essential part of me besides health-wise. Having my physique the way that I want and that feeling of exerting myself in the gym. So I came to Arizona because they're open and I don't have to wear a mask in the gym. California's gyms are still closed. So if I was to just say I wanted the beach, so I'm working on the beach with a couple of bands and doing push-ups, that's not fucking working out to me, you know? So that's a bad situation. That's putting good energy in me into a bad situation. Why am I feeding and giving my energy to a bad situation? There's also a self-esteem thing here. When you are giving your energy into a good situation, you're also giving yourself the statement that my energy is worth that good thing, that good situation. When you find yourself continually putting your energy toward a bad situation, you're also setting a low self-esteem note. Now, sometimes we may not have a choice, and there are times in life we don't have a choice, and then it's not a self-esteem issue. But once you begin, sometimes we just have to fight it, we have to make do, all those things. We've all had to do this. But once there becomes an option, once there becomes a choice, now self-esteem and your internal value system is what's at play, okay? So then it's our responsibility to ourselves to go, okay, I need to put my energy into a good situation because that's going to signal to me that I am worth, my energy is worth being in a good situation where it can grow, where it can be affected, okay, and all that. It's just like when I was going to Gold's Gym when it used to exist, okay, it used to be open. That sense of value that I gave myself physically and socially was like, I deserve to be in an environment that is the most inspirational, the highest energy, all those good qualities, 10 out of 10. All right. So that was continually uplifting for me. If I were to have, let's say, remained and just looked to make do with the shambles that are left of the fitness world over there, what does that say? That says that that's what I deserve. That's the message that happens inside. So every time you put your energy and your goals into a good situation, your self-esteem, your self-confidence, and really your results, okay, will go up. Because again, it's so important to remember we have limited energy and a limited time in this life. So that's why also I suggest not waiting for anybody, not waiting for the government, not waiting for rules to change, and not waiting for other people. You know, I mean, except like, okay, you have a dinner date, you know, someone is 5 minutes late, doesn't mean you leave, but you're not waiting an hour. You're not standing in front of the restaurant for a week. Okay, so there is only a small window that you give situations, that you give people before you move on. And why is that? It's because our energy is valuable. Our life is valuable and it is limited. And if you just wait or looking to wait for situations to change, that's actually just a negative impact on your self-confidence, self-esteem, because each of you and your energy is precious. It's absolutely precious. Your goals are precious. Your focus is precious. All right. So you want situations that match that match how precious it is, that's going to honor how precious it is, so you can succeed as best as possible. So that's the superhero message of the day. Comment, like, subscribe, support, because you know what? What am I? I'm a supporter of authentic expression, of self-empowerment, and that's how we live our life to the fullest and be our own superhero. All right, guys.